Folks, this is Zaimazam, Chief Market Analyst at Evertrade, and welcome to our daily technical analysis video. In today's segment, I'm going to look at oil prices because, of course, there has been a lot of noise from the OPEC Plus cartel, and I'm referring to the supply and demand equations, really, because OPEC is really trying to make sure oil producers are complying with their production cuts, because no one wants to have extra supply on the market at a time when regional governments are very much targeting economic activity by limiting the social gathering of people. So let's have a bit more conversation around this and see where the potential support and resistance levels are with respect to oil prices. Before we do that, as always, it is important for us to go through this slide of disclaimers and risk warnings. Anything which will be discussed in this video cannot be perceived as an advice. If you are seeking for one, please do consider consulting with your own financial advisors. Now, but what I'm going to do is just slightly a bit different this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out my Bloomberg platform, and what we're going to do is we're going to go through some headlines. So read the fundamentals a little bit. So what you see over here is your crude oil price, and these are all the news relating to oil prices, what happened recently. And on top of that, over here, you have a price chart for oil as well. So what we see there, let's just go through some of the headlines together and then make sure that we understand what the exactly, recent headlines are really telling us. So oil to recover starting 2022 post-COVID. So Iraqi minister is basically saying that there is no recovery until 2022. Some Iraq oil projects slowed on cash shortage. Again, it pretty much tells us that there is not enough cash and they won't be increasing the new projects because of the lower oil prices. And then we have something, it's the same news coming back again, then another article by nesting.com, which says oil prices steady but rising infections and oil supply way. Again, because of the infections, as I've explained earlier at the beginning of this video, they can really impact oil prices because people will be traveling less, will be using less oil. And then we're looking at the next one, which says oil shares fall most in Europe after OPEC Plus warning on outlook. So again, OPEC is coming out with bit more cautious, which is very much the same in our last video where we discussed about how OPEC is not too much optimistic about the oil prices, and we've already seen a headline just right over here, outlook warning over here, where OPEC Plus outlook warning engage is in August updates is the European market pretty much. So basically what that really tells us that OPEC is still very much not too optimistic about the prices. Now, with all of those fundamentals in mind, given the fact that we have read pretty much, we know from reading these headlines of what exactly means. To summarize once again, OPEC is not too much optimistic. Oil ministers are still thinking that, it's going to take us another year or two before oil prices will recover. They wanted to make sure the supply remains in check so that, there's no overbalance between supply and demand. Now, with that said, let's have a look at the oil price chart. And on the daily time frame, as you can see from here, what we are looking at is a potential support and resistance zone. So our first resistance zone with respect to oil prices is going to be right towards the top of this particular chart right over here, where there's a lot of consolidation happened. And with respect to oil prices support, what we're really looking at is maybe moving the support to a higher level just below this particular candle. That is the area that we are very much focused on. So if I just I go a little bit more zoomed into this chart so we can redefine our support and resistance levels. So what we're going to look at is we're going to look at this particular area between 39 to 39.51 as our potential support zone. But the immediate support zones with respect to oil prices, they are right near the important support and resistance levels. And by that, what I mean is that we have two important moving averages. First of all, this is your 100-day moving average right over here. Followed by that is your 50-day moving average. The fact that the crossover happened over here where 50 fell below the 100-day moving average is not necessarily a very good sign, because the last time it happened, it was pretty much clear from the price action that, you know what, the prices are likely to reverse their direction, because the last time the 50 fell below the 100-day moving average was back here, back in February, and we know when the 50-day moving average crossed below the 100-day moving average, which happened right over here, the price kind of went in a massive plunge, and we saw the prices falling from 57 all the way to 930. So hopefully we won't see the same sort of a price action coming into the play. Hopefully we won't see that intense sell-off once again, but we got to be vigilant about that. We got to be careful about that. But if the price fails to hang in between this important price level, then the next area of support with respect to oil prices is going to be between the levels that I'm just about to draw on the chart, and that is going to be between 34.37 to 35.15. These are your important support and resistance levels. So let me just draw them on the chart for you guys so that you guys know what do I really mean. So this is your support level number 2. This over here is your support level number 1, and this over here, right over here, is your resistance level number 1. So these are the price levels that we are very much looking at, and currently the price is very much so trading near its 150-day moving average. And again, to summarize, which is that the 50 has crossed below the 100-day moving average, which is negative on the longer run. But in the short term, we are focused on the prices and that how the price is trading still above the 100-day moving average. As long as that continues to play out, that continues to remain the base case, then it is likely for the prices to move their journey to the upside. All right, folks, that's all for today, and I'll see you guys next time.